My hair's don't look good. In my last video, I discussed about the total debt United States have, which was the citizen total debt which the citizens of United States have, which was somewhere around $30 trillion. Today, I'm going to talk about how much debt does New York City or New York has, and what guidance does Allah give us in such kind of situations. The stats of New York City is are really were really shocking for me because as someone who loves New York City, New York has always been portrayed as a financial capital of the world, and it is the financial capital of the world. But all those videos which you might have seen with all those high buildings, the Billionaire Row and Hudson Yard, Times Square, and all the fancy Michelin star restaurants, and everything fancy over there. That makes a perception of people that, yeah, New York, which was sold as something as the American dream, right? So I was searching about New York City, specifically New York City, and the stats were not something shocking for me because I knew that New York City is in heavy debts. But what was shocking to me was this thing. The results came that New York is the most in debt region in the entire United States. That's what was shocking to me. That New York City, the city which is literally the financial capital of the entire United States of America, is the most in debt city or region, is the most in debt region in the entire United States. That's what shocked me because I was not anticipating such a result. I don't have to explain any one of you. I read this annual report from the World Economic Forum where they were describing that the current crisis of 2026 is the debt crisis globally. Although in that report they didn't take the name of United States as a victim of debt crisis, but if we see United States and the stats United States has given us, United States, the citizens of US are in debt. How much? $30 trillion. That is not a small thing. I mean, if you're talking about New York City specifically, the condition of New York City is this that people are literally leaving the city which they once dreamt of living in. I mean, New York City is the dream city of many people, I guess. And people dream, literally, I think so. If not dream, they had this heavy desire of living in New York, including me. But now people are literally leaving New York. Why? Because New York City has become so expensive that people are not able to handle their balances or balance sheet or whatever you want to say that. People are literally forced to buy their groceries, their essentials on credit card. People are literally going into debts to buy food. And for those, the rents where people are living are skyrocketing. There's a housing crisis in whole of America, let alone New York City. The rents are, of course, extremely high in New York. The living cost is extremely high. And the salaries of people are not increasing in proportion to the cost of living. Right now, just talking about New York. The salaries of people are not increasing in proportion to the cost of living. That's why people have to leave New York. The stats which came that New York City collectively carries over $150 billion in government debts. This is just the government debts. $150 billion of government debt, while the household across the state, not city, owes tens of billion more in credit card balance, student loan, and rent arrears. Let's talk about student loan for a second. Imagine, just imagine a young person who is supposed to be the future of this world. This person is supposed to be creative. This person is supposed to be innovative. This person is supposed to be bringing revolutions. This person is supposed to be a role model for the next for future. I mean, these young people we have, our children, our kids, these are the future of the world. Very soon, you and I will go. Who will left? Who will be left? Now imagine these children, in order to get out in society, in order to do anything, these people have to study because education is the foundation of a civilization. And then these people have to go into debts to just study. They're in the college, they have to take loans to get in the college, and then when they get out, now was the time for them to implement their knowledge into action in society, in whatever society, whatever place, whatever city, whatever country they are living in. But first, these students are having a difficulty finding a job. If they do find a job, and a job that gives them enough salary that they can sustain their life, where is the major chunk of that salary going? In repayments of the loan. Now, this young lad who is supposed to be creative, who is supposed to be innovative, who is supposed to be a role model, in their mind, they're anxious about the bills they have to pay. They are anxious about the debt, the burden of the debt which they have in their shoulders. Young lads, can you expect these people to be creative when in their head they have literally anxiety of giving back the loans? Can you expect any creativeness or any innovation from such people? The person who is worried to make his end meet, do you think he has the time to think about innovation? These interests, usury, which Allah has prohibited in Quran centuries ago. Allah says in the Quran, trade is allowed for you, but riba is not allowed. Riba means usury or interest is not allowed for you. Why do you think, or why do you think that Allah prohibited this riba? What's the problem in this? Because it destroys society. It rips apart the balance. It is complete polar opposite of justice. What does interest do? Make money out of money. Well, I have a lot of money. I'll lend it on interest. Those people whom I am lending the money to, I don't care what they are going through. I don't care what crisis they are going through. I don't care anything. I want my money with profit. You do whatever you have to do, give me my money back with profit. Is that not the case? I think so. In that annual report which I read from the World Economic Forum, they were telling that the world is seeing a new crisis, which is the global debt crisis. And why is it happening? Because not only people, individual, but literally countries are in debt. Countries are in debt. That bar of 1% and the lower rest 99% is increasing every single day. People are going into debt. People are the 1% are getting richer and richer and richer. Now I don't have a problem, or Islam does not have a problem from anyone earning money. And this is people say, oh, people talk about 1% so much. People talk about 1% because they are jealous of you. No, I'm not jealous of your money. I don't care how much money do you have. I don't care how much money do you have. I literally don't care how much, even trillions of dollars you have. I literally don't care. Okay? Islam does not prohibit anyone to earn money. Rather, in the Quran, you'll find verses where Allah has commanded to do business. Where Allah has said that we have given you this world and the sky to go explore, invest your money, bring innovation, be creative. That's what Allah commands us to do in the Quran. So Allah is not against earning money. Islam is not against earning money. But what Allah commands is injustice cannot survive in the society. You cannot be slaving people for your own benefits. And is not this system of interest the modern day slavery, where banks are the masters and the public is the slave? People people are making their life's decision based on the loans they have. This is the loan I have taken. This is the money I am earning. This big of the chunk will go into the repayment. Now I'm left with this much money. I have to now budget this money for the food and for the rent. Do you think such individuals have the time to be creative? Society, the corrupt system has the corrupt system has destroyed the societies globally. And the one who is incurring the most loss is the newer generation. It's the young generation that is coming now. They are the one who have to bear the burden. Imagine this young lad who went into college by taking loan, got out of college. Now he's in a job, and a big chunk of his salary is just going into repayments. Is this individual, and then the rest of the money, another big chunk is going into rents because there is a housing crisis. Mortgages are so high. A property, buying a house is like I don't, I mean, there was this neighborhood in London where the average cost of a house is 17 million euros. 17 million euros? I went to London. Let's come back to New York. Uh, New York doesn't has many public toilets. For the people who are watching me from the New York can understand this. New York doesn't have many public toilets. If you're roaming around the streets, you won't see many public toilets. So there was this discussion happening where the state government will be building uh, new public toilets, and the total cost of building one single public toilet was calculated to be $5 million. $5 million for a public toilet? $5 million for a public toilet? $5 million for a public toilet. Imagine what's the cost of buying a home in New York City. Now this young lad, can you imagine him buying a home anywhere soon? I don't think so. And then what about starting his own family, starting his own business? Can this young lad do that? The corruption which these banks have instilled in the societies, the young generation are the one who is incurring the burden the most. The most. The stats shows that credit card debts, New Yorkers carry above average balances, contributing to the national. There were any specific numbers for the New York City stats about how much credit card debt, but they have. But collectively, the entire United States of America, all the citizens of US carry $1.23 trillion of debt, credit card debts only, among which New Yorkers are the top ranking. And what are these people buying from these credit cards? Let me tell you. Families rely on cards for essentials, trapping them in high interest cycles. People are not buying cars, people are not buying iPhones, people are buying food to eat. Another thing, student loan. Residents collectively owe over $90 billion in New York City alone. An average borrower, $40,000. Rental arrears, and these are the stats about the New York Housing Authority, the government buildings. $500 million are owed to these rental arrears, the rent which is due to be paid, which people are not able to pay back. Let alone how much, I don't know. There will be at least billions of dollars in private properties of rent. No wonder why there is a housing crisis in the US. Impact on daily life, families, debt payment consume income, leaving less for food, healthcare, and education. Let's talk about healthcare even for a second. Healthcare. Do anyone in this world has to go for a loan to get health services? Hospitals. I'm reminded of seeing this video on Instagram where this lady was showing. If I'm not wrong, she was talking about the New York City only. That she had a normal delivery, not a C-section, not that operation. She had a normal delivery, and total cost of her total bill was $50,000 for a normal delivery. $50,000. What are you giving? I mean, what? And the location is so many. $17,000 was just for the room. $17,000. $17,000 for just the room. I mean, what is this? Healthcare system is literally robbing people out of their health. Now health has become literally a business for you to exploit. Killing people has become the norm in the policy of United States. Go fund genocide. Go kill people for money, for power. And if killing in and yes, of course, because we can't kill the people inside United States, so let's trap them in the deaths. Even the government of New York City has exceeding 150 billion uh, debt. And Allah told us, we send our messengers with clear proof. Send down with them the book and the balance so that people can uphold to justice. Allah in this ayah says that we have given you the proofs, the clear signs of the authenticity of this book. Then we have given you the book. Then we have given you the balance. Why? So that you can uphold to justice. What does justice means? Justice means equalization. Not that some elite people gets to do whatever they want and the rest of the public is literally living like a slave. That's what injustice is. Finance was not supposed to be a weapon. Finance was supposed to be literally like an oxygen that supports life. Finance is supposed to be giving, finance is like an oxygen in society and civilization. And finance has become a weapon now. Sanctioning people, sanctioning countries, increasing tariffs. Using finance to destroy countries. Bombs and missiles weren't enough. Killing people, the blood of people, children was not enough. That this has to be done also. The debt crisis in New York isn't just about numbers, it's about justice. Allah gave us the book and balance so we don't lose our way. If we restore ethical purpose, finance can become a tool of justice, compassion, and resilience. I mean, you might be seeing some emotions in me which are rising, which is literally, yeah, I get emotional when I talk. See, the purpose of this video was to tell you what Allah has given us and what's happening in our society right now. Allah has told us in His book, do justice. And what's happening in our society globally is justice is nowhere close to be found except in few places. I mean, the global capital system is running on interest. What can you expect? If interest is everywhere, that means injustice is everywhere, except for the few places where interest is not there. We have to return to the principles of Quran, the principles which Allah gave us. And Allah didn't give us the principles for Muslims. Quran is not a Muslim book. Quran is the book for humanity. When Allah talks about justice, Allah doesn't talks about justice with Muslims alone. Allah talks about justice with humanity. We have to return back to the principles Allah gave us. Otherwise, the younger generation is at risk the most. There will be a collapse, there will be wars, which is happening, there will be genocides. The corrupt, the elite, the one person, the politicians, they'll do whatever they want, and we, the normal people, will incur the loss. This is the time for revolution. Again, people have to unite. People have to unite. People have to unite under this book which Allah gave us. We have to unite.